understand who Killer the Dog was.
Well, I just think...
What's happening?
Well, Jimmy Breuer.
What's going on? Can you hear me good? Because my phone's dying.
Oh, shit.
You know me, Mr. Professional.
Oh, so we're on the outside of the closet today? Is that what that is?
I am on the outside. I came out of the closet, Mike. I came out. And the reason being, why I'm out of the closet, where am I looking at? I'm looking at right. That's not the camera. That's the camera.
Yep.
So the reason being is, now I got a whole bunch of shows coming up. Have no fear. I was a little worried. Jimbo tore his calf muscle.
I heard.
So I'm on stage in Tampa. This is what I love about living in Florida. So last night I played Port Charlotte, Florida. Sells out. Tampa always sells out. Sarasota sells out. I don't even have to leave the west coast of Florida. It's unbelievable. And I get to work out and people keep coming. It's so I'm in Tampa and I go on stage and I'm getting all riled up. Because people are talking about did you see the Oscar? Did you see the slap? All that shit. And then the new thing now is the don't say gay.
Yeah.
If I hear one more moron say, don't say gay. Like, did you read? And so Florida, of course, everyone here is pissed. Mm-hmm. They're pissed how the propaganda really tries to make this look like, even Jen Psaki, I don't care if you're into politics. I'm not into politics. She's a moron. The name anyone that has a problem with this bill, which basically it's like taking a 5-year-old kid, a 6-year-old kid, go, "Hi, what's your name?" "My name's Billy." "Hi, Billy. How old are you?" "7." "Yeah. You like sticking things in your hiney?" "What?" "Well, yeah, let's teach you about sticking things in. You might like things stuck in your hiney." I'm sorry, but when I was growing up, that was called a predator. And you called the police on people like that, that even talk to your child like that. So anyone that advocates for this, I think they should, I'm not very fond of them. So anyway, I'm getting all hopped up talking about this. I mean, seriously, is there anyone out there in society that says, you know what, I think we should start teaching without the parents what it's like to have a finger in your butt, or what it's like to stick a weenie in your hiney, or perhaps cut it off, or maybe you let like that. I'm sorry, but those are sick and deranged human beings. You can yell at me, can't say whatever you want, but when I grew up, if someone dared try to lure you into a shed or try to talk to you like that, my father would have knocked their teeth down their throat. You don't talk to a child like that. I saw some sick video where a lady had her baby and she's like, "The baby's gay." These people are diseased. They're diseased. And to whatever. Anyway, so I'm hopped up, right? And I'm trying to make it funny and all of a sudden I feel a pop, like a pop. And I look around and I thought someone threw something. So I was ready for go time. So I turn around, look at the audience, and just like they're not pointing anyone out. I was waiting for them to go, "It's the guy over there. It's that jerk over there."
Yeah.
And none of them are doing it. And then I'm looking for the object that they throw, because I was convinced it was either a hard ball or a pool ball. That's how hard it felt.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then I realized there's nothing on the stage. And then I went to walk, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm in trouble." But bro, 55, and the doctor goes, "You know that stage in life when all your friends are kind of married. Now they're having kids, and now you just find yourself hanging around with a lot of people that have kids because you have to. Like, yeah, he goes, you're at that stage where people start blowing their knees, their calves, their tendons, their elbows. I went, no, but I'm going to be 55 in June. He went, exactly. Well, what? Like, I'm in shape. He goes, yeah, no. It's like a car, bro. You change the oil all you want. You can't hide the fact that it has 200,000 miles on it. It starts, the engine needs, the transition has to be done. You have to blow it. It's one, but this may be the beginning of my end, Mike. I don't know.
Shit.
I'm a little worried.
Hey, man, ride till the wheels fall off, right?
That's what I say. That's what I say. So just to let everyone know, I do have shows. Everyone keeps asking me about Arizona and all these gigs, but so I did my first show last night, Port Charlotte, Florida, and I was a little worried because I have to sit down. Really, I walk up with crutches and I got to sit down. I wish I filmed it because, and I'll tell you what, I'm all hopped up now. So I have the Omni this Saturday in Connecticut. I have then I'm heading to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on Sunday. Tuesday, just go to jimbreuer.com. jimbreuer.com. You'll see where I'm playing. I'm playing Ohio, Illinois, Detroit, South Dakota, and Green Bay, Wisconsin. That is all coming up next week. So I'll be doing the podcast, the Breuniverse, from the road. Then I got some of my favorite gigs come up. Penns Peak, Pennsylvania, Carteret, New Jersey, Rhode Island, the Park Theater, the Paramount in Long Island. And then when the hell am I in Arizona? I got to find that Arizona gig. Oh, well.
Well, yeah, if you have that, send it to me so I can update your site.
Okay. I don't know why it's not around. And then I'm going away to check out some. I'm going away. I'm not going to say where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm checking out some areas to live. It's outside the country.
Oh, shit.
Hey, man.
You say live?
I don't know about live, but definitely.
Like a getaway, like during the summer, winter months kind of thing?
Yeah, and one of those.
Be prepared.
I hate to say it, but a couple of years ago was the first time in my life, I'm going to say almost a decade ago, where I saw the way things were changing, but not until COVID hit, where I went, you know what? I don't really trust what's running the people's lives here and what direction they're going. I mean, when you got a leader who's Frankenstein going, there's going to be shortages. Well, why didn't you give a little more detail why there's shortages? And don't blame it on it's Russia. No, it's not. No, it's not. It was a disaster before Russia.
Yep.
It was a disaster. The gas is going through. Where's the supply? Where's the supplies? They're on ships. Well, why can't we go out there with our own boats and get them? There's 1 billion Americans with private boats, cruise ships. Give me a paddle board. I'll paddle out there. And who's got my sink? Who's got my sink? With this whole bullshit that there's shortage on, it's no one asks nothing. That's whatever. I'm getting too riled up.
Yep.
Too riled. I'm gonna enjoy life. We're gonna have a good time. So I've also just 2 quick fronts with the script. Our buddy is taking a little while for me, and I almost don't like it. So I'm gonna give him a call and get the notes, and then we'll film it another time because I want to move along with this script. For everyone that don't know, the plan is to wrote a script. I want to cast it, do the read through on camera here, and then potentially film it all on camera. We show everything right here on YouTube on the Breuniverse. If it's too boring, then we'll just put the best ofs and just make it one big, really cool thing to put here. And of course, Patreon members get first dibs. Also, if you are thinking about Patreon, I think it's a great deal. It's $15. For $15, I live stream a concert once a month. This month, I'm going to do Joliet, Illinois. Every single month, you get a free concert. You also get my last special, Somebody Had to Say It, which I filmed last year. And you get all the podcasts, all that jazz, and you get the podcast with me. That's another thing. I'm really surprised at all the. I don't think you've seen them, Mike, but if you're a Patreon member, if you wanna interview me, you can. I've had probably 30 to 60. I don't know how many. 30 to 60. That's a big range.
Yeah.
But probably 30 guys interview me, male, female.
Right.
Every single one has been. I think I'm batting like 95% with the interviews. They're absolutely. Every time I'm thinking, all right, where can we go now? They take it a really cool place. So
I caught the last one with I think his name was Brady. That was pretty good.
What was he talking about?
He was a young kid. I think he had like a jewel. He was like waving around and shit. He had like the vape pen or whatever.
Brady was kind of like the young. He looked like a character from Half Baked.
Yeah, and it was cool because like you mentioned how like when these people interview you, you have the older folks and you got the younger guys, and to see like their takes on things and how different it is, or if it even meets up,
It's really well, because even yesterday I did one, and the guy's full blown like faith based, but full blown clown. He watches everything. I mean, it was fantastic. It was every single one has been incredible, but I like where we're going. People like that the last two, the Sean episode.
Mm-hmm.
I like bringing on real people. I'm going to have more real people from my life coming in. And speaking of that, one of my good friends, the podcast I just did, everyone check that out. Are we able to, I'll ask you, Mike, are we able to show any clips from what I just did this week? You know what I did, right? The tinfoil.
Yeah, Sam Tripoli, I think his name was. Yeah, they just gave me the video last night. I got to comb through it a little bit and see what's there.
Or did we just air the whole thing?
It's up to you. I mean, like the first hour is with you, and then the second hour is with, Eddie, I think his name was, Ed.
Eddie's great. I love Eddie.
It's up to you. I mean, I'll tell Evan.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we do the portion that I'm on?
Okay.
And then, so we'll play this.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, if you want to watch that one, because I highly suggest it. I loved being on their show, because I can go either a little I'm always afraid here to go too far into stuff, and I don't want people like, dude, I don't want to listen to this. Can we get heavier? Can we get goofier? Can we get whatever? But they are, me and Eddie. Eddie's more intense, but I've been there, done that a million times.
Yeah. So
he's kind of reliving it now, where I've been there, done that. But I loved being on their show. Loved it. And I want to get on, what's his name too again, Theo Vaughn. If I go to Nashville, I really enjoyed being on Theo, Anthony Cumia.
Well, shit, at some point we should get Theo on, or Anthony.
You know what? That's a great idea. Why don't we reach out to them?
Yeah. Could do that.
Let's reach out to them.
And by the way, that dude, I think Sam is the main host of that show that you were just on. He butchered your name, man.
I know he could. Well, he butchered the Breuniverse.
Yeah.
He didn't know how to say the Breuniverse.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. I totally understood what he was trying to do. He did. He was like, the Breuniverse. His Breuniverse. But I do that all the time. Like if I can't, you feel dumb and you don't want to pronounce the wrong name, so you kind of just mumble it a little bit and go. But yeah, he couldn't say Breuniverse. He asked me a couple of times. He's like, "How do you say it?" I went, "Just think of Breuer and universe. Breuniverse.
Sound it out.
Yeah, Breuniverse. There you go. Case closed." I'm trying to get Rob Caggiano on the show. He's such a rock star. He drives me nuts.
Well, they're touring right now, right? I think.
What is Volbeat doing? Volbeat, are they touring?
I mean, they were just in Jersey. Was it last month?
Oh yeah, they're probably in Europe right now, but I'll look them up. So those are the updates. I did this show called That Show Tonight.
Mhm.
That is on the move, by the way. I can't give details of who was really interested, but people are really interested. Uh, and that's super exciting. I'm more excited for Mike, who created the thing and really puts it together, and he brought me in to help. I've been talking with really, it's very interesting. This whole being honest, truthful has led to a world I feared it for the longest time because of the entertainment industry, and the more I go there, it's really fascinating how much you become free. And not only have I become free from not or I should say fearless of what the monsters think, uh and I call them monsters because they're sick and there's something wrong with them, but I love them and I wish them all well. Even the ones that wish me the worst, I truly wish them well. I don't wish harm on anybody. It's just not worth it. We're not here long enough to experience this world to wish that. So, but it's amazing the people like today. I'm doing something with Larry the Cable Guy after this, and he has this whole. He's like, Breuer, would you do? It's kind of like I got this pastor on. I went, you got a pastor? Doing it? What? He goes, yeah, but he gives his thing, but then we kind of give art. And I'm like, I'm all up for that. I'm all up for that. But I said, I gotta be straight up with you, man. You ask me anything Bible stuff, and I'm done. If I gotta save the world, I'm done. I'll tell you, I'll talk to the guy. He gives me the messages. I know what the Lord, God, Jesus said. I know what he said. But if you're gonna start asking me scripture stuff, I'm done. I can't even give you the 10 Commandments. Don't kill. Don't try to tap your neighbor's wife. Forgive.
Mm-hmm.
Just do unto others as you do unto yourself, unless you're a sick, perverted, dark human being. I think that's the only thing that maybe should have been added there. Well, let's bring my good friend Jimmy Shocker on.
What's up, brother?
I got a message from a guy who he was such a huge Brewer Unleashed fan. He left me voice messages. He's like, when I saw Shaka and I saw Pete one day on there doing some little thing, he goes, you got to get Larry. He goes, I started crying. He left me all these voice messages. And he reminded me, he goes, all the stuff that you and Shaka are basically, we'll talk about. He goes, you guys were doing this 15 years ago, but the world really wasn't ready for it. And I forgot about that. And he really reminded, like, we were getting into the whole TV, mind manipulation, news, corporate monsters taking over the world. We were there.
You know what? Just yesterday, I'm talking to somebody, and there was this news report about Tesla, right? What's his name? Elon Musk was asked to shut down all the cars in Russia, like with a button. Bloop, now your Teslas don't work in Russia. I said we were talking about that 10 years ago, right? With the GPS thing, all of a sudden, OnStar, off car, right?
Yes, and we said
boom.
The way they first come out with things is for your safety and for your health. Hey, if you get in an accident, we're listening to you 24/7. Just a press of a button. Sure you are. Hey,
right.
It's like, oh my God, how do people not see this? But that's how they tell you, and that's how this, when you're mentally programmed and you're still in the feel world. Do you want the blue pill or do you want the red pill? The blue pill, go back to your regular life. Nothing to see here, folks. The red pill, I can only offer you truth. However, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go?
You were just talking about the more you've been truthful.
Yeah.
We are. I feel like we are literally moving into like almost like the age of truth. This is like you can't bullshit anymore. Even on television, you can't bullshit anymore. We're on to you. I'm doing a job. This is why I'm in my car. I'm actually doing the job with Pete that we grew up with, Malzone, right?
Pete Malzone, yeah.
And yeah. So like we're talking about this guy that comes in to do some kind of technical thing with computers, but he's always bullshitting, embellishing, and making it sound like it's like. And I'm like, that doesn't fly anymore. Even in the blue collar world, you can't bullshit anymore.
I think you're onto something. You really are right. Like I haven't had time for bullshit in a long time. I always tell people, bro, just stop selling me. Just you don't have to sell me. Stop with the bullshit. How many years we've been taught to sell bullshit? It's a profession.
Right.
Everything's bullshit that people want to sell. And again, I go back to a pivotal moment that I thought was amazing. And I'm just being dead honest. It's you and I used to talk about this stuff, and I would talk about God, you would talk about pure love, and blah blah blah, and the way things are changing. But when Rogan came on our show and he did that thing, which we showed a couple weeks ago, and he talked about this is the changing of truth, and if you're not being truth, you're just another leech. And like a vampire, and it's starting to really unravel. And you're always getting, I keep telling people, you're always getting people that just don't get it. Like we have, and they're stuck on politics. Like I have, I live here in Florida, right? And I cannot be any more excited about some of the things that DeSantis is doing. And what I mean by that is, the guy just passed a bill for high school students to start learning about banking, checking, and learning we should have been doing this from the beginning of time. Like, isn't that common sense? And people are going, when I see the Hollywood, and I want to change the name to Hollywood to Lost Souls. When the Lost Souls
love it
are up there going, this don't say gay bill. Anyone that continues to say the don't say gay bill, I don't want you anywhere near my family. I don't want you anywhere near my home. You're dark. You're not thinking. You're not even. You're leading your emotions in blind astray. You haven't even read.
Lost.
Nowhere in the bill does it say that. It basically says if your child is in kindergarten, 5 years old, still talk like this. First grade, talks a little better. Second grade, they should not be taught if they like things in their hiney and want to put things in someone else's hiney and or anything of that world. Do you remember can you imagine, Jimbo? We're kids in our street, and even when an older boy came along and they were like, hey man, I had someone like, hey man, you want to come in the shed? I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I'm like, whoa, like what? I couldn't even comprehend what the hell was going on. Now, if you're put to advocate that, I'm sorry, but I see you as a predator and a potential pedophile. And if you really are that thoughtless and careless, and you want to put, I'm sorry, I've lost all respect for you. I don't know what to. And you can hate me or say I'm homophobic. I love when people say this. You're homophobic. Hey, who's homophobic? It's like saying, oh God, what's up? There's a gay guy. I might get gay. It's the dumbest thing ever in my life.
Right.
But now, we also talked about this a long time ago. Do you see all this stuff going on with Disney?
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Yeah. Another thing DeSantis is doing.
And he's putting the light on them. And the more you put the light, and all the conspiracy theorists that said, have you ever, did you see that new gift card? It's basically Minnie holding a dick to Mickey's mouth, and Mickey's looking at it. And they've come out and said, we're going to push the gay and LGBTQ. So I canceled everything Disney. Everything Disney, gone. Good. You're out. Why is there such a sudden push for sexuality? When did sexuality become so important when it comes to a soul, to a thought process? This may be, I never understood when people go to church or whatever, and like, you'd always hear like, these are the end of times. Like, all right, we've been hearing that forever. Well, guess what?
Right.
This is the most demonic, evil-spirited, creepy push in human history, if you ask me. Listen, once you know whatever your journey led to, you're 25 years old, you're 23 years old, you're 30, and you're a gay man. We all know you. We've been there. We work together. We laugh together. We've been there. Do you remember the one time to push that? Push that. Now we got an issue. You found you found it, but the problem is the pushing and it's like taking a dog and shoving it in the dirt and going, you will like a penis. You will. You want it in your mouth or in your butt. I'm sorry. I hate to be that harsh, but that's demonic and evil. You're talking about sodomizing. You're talking about rape. And I hate the words they always use to try to make it nice. Oh, it was a molester. It's a raper. We got to get rid of these little fluffy terms they use. LGBT. No. I'm done with it all. Anyway, that's enough of my rant. The Disney thing.
But anytime, go ahead.
Well, do you remember when Eddie Money was on was on the radio show?
Uncle Eddie.
Eddie Money was on our show, and he was getting drunk, and he was sober for a while, and he started talking about dark gay agenda stuff at Disney, and we were all looking at him like I'm like, what? Do you remember that?
Yep, I do. And
And this
it was 10 years ago. More.
Way more than that. I think it was 15 years ago at least. It was like 2000. Yeah, it was like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, he said, you don't know? And we were like, what are you talking about? He's like, and he was talking and he also brought up, I won't say it. He brought up a specific name of whose kid is always at his house.
Okay.
And that person was in the headlines recently. Which, anyway, it's all, I'm talking too much tongue here. It doesn't matter.
All
but
right.
The story is, I'm so glad that all this is coming to the light. And
that's what it is.
And I know that people are going to be upset. And I have a friend, such a good friend. He makes me want to knock his teeth down his throat because he's always like, "Oh, you're a conspiracy." Like, I just showed you. What do you not? Well, I don't know. I think you just go for there. You're always going to have that. You're going to have people that are in denial. They don't want to think about it. It's too dark for them. What is just there? But what were you going to say? I'm not even letting you talk. I'm sorry, Jimbo.
No, I didn't have. I actually didn't have anything to say. I was just listening to you. Yeah, but shit, lost my thought.
That's right.
Did you see that? Speaking of Disney, did you see that the Ghislaine Maxwell I just sent you?
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes.
fucking
Did you show it to Mike?
85.
Did you show it
Yes,
to
I don't
Mike?
know if you could pull it up, Mike. But there is this thing going around right now. It's Ghislaine Maxwell on the Mickey Mouse Club from in 1985, and there's all these screenshots of it. Come on.
I was just on a podcast. These guys are. I'm sure you saw this guy Eddie. He's been on Rogan a whole bunch. They call him conspiracy and all that, but he's right on. He's dead. If the three of us were hanging out, we'd talk for 80 straight hours. All right.
Great.
I showed them the Pinocchio scene in Disney where Pinocchio, I showed them the pub scene. And that's another thing. People don't believe in subliminal messages and all that jazz. If you look at the pub scene in Pinocchio, it's the most disturbing. They basically talk about stealing children, bringing them to an island, and they talk about stealing boys,
Right.
bring them to the island, and they don't return as little boys. So if you don't think there's an agenda, that's on you, people. If you don't think it's pure evil, demonic, sodomizing agenda, that's on you. You can scream homophobic all you want. You could scream because now they blatantly put it out there. Even your president,
Right.
even Joe Biden just said, I support kids. He said kids. Did he say kids? Before I get too hopped up. He didn't say people. I believe he said youth or kids or whatever he said. He basically supported for you to transform your body. That is the times we're
You know what
living
I think? What I
in. And no
think
one's doing it. Don't
the
you think
thing.
it's weird? Anything?
Say again.
Like, do you think we're going to reach a point where people finally buckle and go after these people? Like, it's weird. Like, I don't.
Yeah, that's already happening.
You think?
Yeah. But the thing is, I think yeah, that's I mean, that's what we're doing right now. We're basically exposing them and saying,
Oh, yeah.
either go get them
Right.
or turn them off or get away from them. But I feel like what's needed is like there's that expression, nature hates a void, right? So
Yeah.
all of a sudden you've been fed with all this Disney and all this everything and TV and stimulation your whole life, and then you're saying it's all evil, which it is. We need to come up with the alternative to that.
Right.
All right, so what do I do with all this energy and time and
Right.
attention and
Right.
humanity? You know what I mean? Myself, what do I do with it?
Right. And
So
there
I
you
tell you
go.
one thing.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there's that thing.
So there's the biggest sex
Yeah.
trafficker we know in human history. And if people don't know the rabbit hole, look at the colors of Disney and look at the colors of Epstein's Island's palace.
Yeah, the island. Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting.
But all right, I'm at the point where we just need to start doing everything ourselves. We're starting to do it in the media. This is media. This is the new TV.
This is new.
Right?
This is journalism. The new journalism, people.
This is Right. But now we also need to start doing it with it apparently shipping, right? Like you're saying, food. How about cars? You know what I mean? We need to start making this shit ourselves and literally just doing it ourselves. Guys, that's opportunity, right? There's fucking billions and trillions of dollars in opportunity here.
Yeah, I think
Feed
so.
the world. You got
Yeah.
land, grow something.
Right.
You know?
And I really do think this is a powerful, beautiful time. You can either I don't like I don't like going too far about, exposing is one thing, but I think the balance is to take all that energy, because people still get riled up. Like, can you believe this? Can you believe it? Like, yes, we can believe, we know it's real.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I said, people talk about, they bitch and they moan and we talk about whatever. But I'm at the point still, like you said, let's take this energy and put it out into pure love, and use all this dark that they're trying so hard to throw down our throats. Push back, grab that nucleus of energy and push it onto let's spread goodness, spread love, spread helping, understanding. Start with yourself. Nature. Turn the screens off. And the more pure we go back into our human soul, natural beings, the better we are. And the more we do that, the harder they try to take it all away. Put a jab in you. It's this poison of whatever they're doing. They're trying so hard. Now, it's one good thing to learn about what's going on, but the next move is we gotta start. Just do it. Live, and that's why this Owen Benjamin. Every once in a while, I'll look into him. Dude, I love what this guy did. He was an actor, comedian, moves, farm. He podcasts from his farm. He exposes things. Some stuff I watch, I'm like, wow, I never even, wow, okay, it's interesting. I learn once in a while. Some people are like, oh, he's a this and that. I don't care. I learned from the homeless. I learned from God. I learned from my neighbor. I learned from the liberal who's like so far out there, but they leave me little nuggets. I'm like, oh, okay. But we got to take all the good from where we find it and start flourishing it as much as possible. So I want to get together with you. By the way, people don't know this, and the guy that reached out to me told me this, Jimbo. He said, Jimmy's the wedding singer, bro. Why don't you call him the wedding singer? Well, I forgot. That's right. We would call him the wedding singer. Yeah. That was your gig. You were always doing the wedding singers. Do you still do that or no?
I never turn a gig down, whether it's a club, a wedding, me and a guitar. I don't care. I do it all. Yeah.
I got an idea. I want to, and me, Mike here, and Annie, and you, we're gonna figure out and this show with I Got Your Six with James Urban. I was talking about where me and you would talk about this forever. The event, the event. We talked about this for years and years and years. We got to get that. I got to find time. We all sit down, try to figure it out, bring some friends in who I've been talking to. I've been talking to some Nashville guys, which I never would have thought come into my life. Never.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty freaking cool. But those are some of the things I'd love to start getting back into, and have events where like you just come, you knock those songs out.
Yeah. Tell them Spotify too. If you want to hear like my CDs and stuff, go to just Jimmy Shaka on Spotify and you check out the music there,
Yeah, check it out. Jimmy Shaka. In fact, they just heard it. You're all set.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you got going today, man? Anything?
Me?
You working?
I'm hanging out with Pete Malzone. I will. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate
you know what I just did? Okay,
what?
Are you ready to go? No, I was going to say this is kind of cool. I found it. I looked up natural springs, right? Like spring water, and there are places where you can actually go like onto a mountain, and there's just like spring water, like God made it, coming off the mountain. And you take a jug and you just fill up bottles of water, and now you have like the purest spring mountain water. And now it's like no fucking municipal chemical you know, because people are saying, watch your tap water. You know what I mean? But I thought it was the coolest thing.
Really?
I got all these jugs. Yeah, and I just fill up with spring water.
Oh, damn.
You know? Right. It's the coolest thing. Look up artesian wells, and you can actually get real water, like from nature. Yeah.
Wow. Dude, we gotta
Isn't
get
that cool?
Now, I just lost Jimmy's sound. Mike, do you hear me at all?
Yeah, you're good. I hear him.
You know what? Something went on my phone. The alarm went off, and I lost everyone's sound. I can see you. Obviously, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
You
can hear me, and okay. So,
yes.
Since I don't want to shut it down and restart, I want to get into off this. We'll start planning some events and maybe like gigs like 4 or 5 months down the road from now, and we start really get into like doing stuff for the better for everyone, if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
All right. I can't hear you. I suck.
All
right,
yeah,
rock
man.
and roll.
Peace.
You guys are the best. God bless you. Check out what I did with these guys, Eddie and Sam. Great podcast. Love these guys. So honored they have me. Hey man, I know we're pissed. I know we get angry. I get angry. This whole like agenda of shoving it down our throat, like you will accept this and you will do this. There is something wrong. There's something wrong. It's disturbing. It's disgusting. I'm sorry, it's demonic and evil, and it's thoughtless. And I don't respect anyone that goes out there in Hollywood and their little shows, and they don't know what they're talking about. They're just with their puppet masters saying, and people from Florida, no, you don't know what you're talking about. So until you know what you're talking about, keep quiet and take your 40 takes on the camera that make you look good, and you keep thinking who you are. Knock yourself out, because at the end of the day, we're all connected. We're all humans. We just want to throw out love. But we know something's wrong, and we know there's an agenda trying to infiltrate. Don't allow it. Keep fighting. Push back at those schools. Push back at those mandates. Push back. Stop sitting down. It's not going away. You got to stand up. You got to approach things with love and purity and morals and faith and spirituality. Believe in it. That is your natural being. This whole world thing trying to infiltrate, shut it out. You don't need the world. You are your world. Spread that love and brilliance. Check out JimBreuer.com for shows. And I got a lot to catch up on for next week with the script and all that jazz. And thanks for hanging in there today. And we'll catch up next week, and we'll start really getting into stuff and rebooting, and I'll be hitting you from the road. Have a good one. Patreon, we'll see you there soon. Next show is going to be Joliet, Illinois, live streamed. If you don't know about it, it's $15 a month. You get a free concert once a month. You get to download my special podcast. You get to interview, all that jazz, and then you bail after a month. If you're into it, you're into it. You're not, don't worry about it. Still got this. Glad you came to Breuniverse. Mike, have a good one. All the best to you, brother. And we're going to set this studio up sooner than later. I'm going to call you off air, get you down here, set it up. Later.
Take a look around and what do you see? London down tonight, we're making history.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer, and I got my own Patreon page, and hopefully you'll check it out. Live comedy concert streamed once a month. Weekly, you host your own podcast and you interview me. Early access to the Breuniverse Podcast every single week, and have bonus footage and bonus segments, and you get to access my last comedy special, Somebody Had to Say It. There's a lot there. I promise you I'm not going to let you down. Go check out my official Jim Breuer Patreon page, and I'll see you there.